What's up, Bay fam? Welcome back to another video. So, the video today, quick disclaimer, it's based on my opinion on a specific subject, okay? And if I'm wrong with what I'm gonna say or you want to correct me, go for it, okay? You could just leave a comment below this video or on any of the social, I will share it, and tell me if I'm wrong about whatever, and I will just welcome the complaint and the criticism very well, because I feel like it's something that I need for my personal knowledge moving forward with the game of Beyblade. So, today's video is about decks. Now, when it comes to decks in Beyblade, they're mostly used in events where you have a 3v3 type of play out with your tournament, and no longer with the 1v1. Now, I know that some people out there do either official tournament for the WBBA, and others just do tournament for fun. They will do that in their own community to make sure to create a sort of bond and family with the game, to make sure that all the people that love the same thing are able to gather together once a week or maybe twice a week or whatever, to be able to enjoy a game that they all love, aka Beyblade. Now, recently, I was on Facebook on one of these pages about the community, sharing your opinion, your interests, your favorite deck, your favorite bay, the way your deck is built, the way that you like it, and how it works, and all that. And someone posted a question on that, on one of those pages, asking if in a deck of 3, with the new CX bays and the custom line and all that, can you have more than one lock chip similar inside of your deck? Now, for what I know, according to the general rules of Beyblade, when it comes to a deck of 3, you're not supposed to have similar pieces that repeats on an extra Beyblade. Now, the example I'm gonna use is this one right here with 2 bays that I created thanks to the latest random booster for Mummy Curse, which is a Brave Pegasus and Brave Rhino. Or Rhino Brave, or Pegasus Brave, depending on how you want to put the name, it's fine by me. Now, these two normally should not be allowed to be put inside of the same deck, and I will go with this with the general rules that I know about Beyblade, meaning that you cannot have similar pieces inside of your deck, even though the bay is not the same. Now, I will explain what I mean by that. Generally, in a deck of 3, you'll have 3 different bits, 3 different ratchets, and 3 different blades. With the general BX and UX base, it's pretty much simple to know how it works. For an example, I have one of my deck that I have here with me. I call it my Chrome deck, which is 3 bays used by Chrome Ryugu inside of the anime Beyblade and the manga as well. So we'll have his first left rotation bay, Cobalt Dragoon, BX bay with this rotating Spectre in the middle. Okay, and this bay only have 3 parts. You have the main blade, the ratchet, and the bit. The ratchet that I use is a 660 that I customize blue and red like this, with the either Cyclone or Vortex. I don't remember the piece exactly because it's an attack type, but anyway. So yeah, it is my design. It's not unique because other people might use it. It's fine too. Most people use Elevate with Dragoon, with Cobalt Dragoon, for what I saw, because it's a great piece, and depending on which bay you use it, actually pretty works. The next bay inside of this deck is my Impact Drake. Now, as you've seen with my Cobalt Dragoon, I have 3 pieces, of course, and this one being a UX, even though I spin the bit, the middle part doesn't move. Because it's a unique line, it is a fixed Spectre. Now, the combo I go with this one is a 460 Exa, blue Exa, to be more precise. So as you can see, the 460 is blue and red, again with the general idea of customization. And you have the blue Exa that comes from the blue Phoenix Soar, or Soar Phoenix, or Phoenix Wing, depending on how you want to say it, or if you use the Hasbro or Terracotta one. Now, as you can see, different parts. It is not the same blade because this one is Impact Drake and not Cobalt Dragoon. It is a right rotation instead of the left rotation, And of course the ratchet is different, even though the color schemes seem to be similar, with the fact that this one is a 460 and the other one was a 660. And of course the bit is still different because this one is balanced, the other one was attack. Now, if you go with the third bay of this deck, doesn't really apply to the first part of this video when I said about the lock chip, but it still goes with the idea of having different pieces. Because again, it is a bay that Chrome uses in the most recent storyline. It is Meteor Dragoon, left rotation again, different than Cobalt Dragoon, of course, with different parts. Because I use a 360 with him, again, blue and red, and I use the Jolt bit instead of using any other bit. I decided to keep the regular one because I want to try it again. I haven't had much chance trying it in an actual battle, but I did a test spin, and test spin wise it's a pretty decent bit, but again I need to have more battle experience with it to be sure that I have the right combo for it. But again, this is my own combo, it's the beauty of customization. So again, as you can see, each of these bays have different parts, either from ratchet to bit to blade. So you'll have Cobalt Dragoon 660 Cyclone or Vortex, like I said, I don't remember. You will have Impact Drake 460 Ixa, and you'll have Meteor Dragoon 360 Jolt. So the general idea of a deck, this is considered to be proper because of the fact that there are 3 different bays, 3 different blades, 3 different ratchet, and 3 different bits. Now, when it comes to a CX deck, again, it's very important. When it comes to a CX deck, it is based on the same idea. You need to have different bits, different ratchet, and different blades. But then we get to the general twist on how it actually works. I have here my alpha deck, as I like to call it, because they're all based on dogs. You have the blue Flame Kerbeus, you have the golden Fox Brush, and you have the Wolf Hunt, which doesn't have an alternate color, but it is a pretty damn cool bay. Now, if we look at Wolf Hunt first, you'll see that it has the Unite bit with his 060 that came with him, the free assist blade, and it has the Hunt blade as well as the lock chip of Silver Wolf. Well, Wolf Hunt in that case. Then we can look at my golden Fox Brush, or as I like to call it, Geet's Doom. I know, trademark pendant, it belongs to them, but still. You can see that it has the brush blade, the Fox lock chip. It will have, instead of a ratchet and a bit, I'll use the Operate that comes from Emperor Might, which is actually a pretty damn decent bit. Pretty damn decent part, but I still have to test it in battle. And I will have the Jaggy assist blade. Now, I don't have the heavy assist blade, unfortunately, because the Operate part was traded to me from a friend. But I think that design-wise it looks sick. But anyways, again, a different part than the original one, that the Wolf Hunt is. Now, we're gonna take a look at my Cerberus, my blue flame Cerberus flame. You have the purple-ish Cerberus lock chip, the blue flame blade, main blade. You will have the purple assist wheel blade. You will have a 760 blue, and you will have a tapered purple as the bit. So, if we look at this, is a full-on balanced deck because they're all balanced type. But as you can see, different bit, different ratchet, different assist blade on all of them, and of course this is a different main blade and different lock chip. Now, when it comes to deck with the CX brand, being the full-on customization possibility that offers to all, it is possible to have the idea of using the same piece inside of a deck. But again, according to the general rules, and that again, it's on everywhere, everybody knows that because it's basic, you cannot have similar pieces inside of a deck. Now, the example that I have is this one. As you can see, there are two different CX blades. but not yet. But not quite actually. Because if you look, they are the same main blade. They all have Brave as the main blade, even though the lock chip is different. One of them is Pegasus, the other one is Rhino. If we look at the assist blade, you'll see that this one is Slash, and this one is Charge. Then if we look at the ratchet, it is different ratchets as well. This one is a 360 and this one is a 660. And then if we look at the bit in themselves, you'll see that they are also different. This one is tapered, a white tapered, and this one is either Cyclone or Vortex, because then again, I don't remember the correct name for each of these pieces, and they look exactly the same. Well, technically not, they don't look the same, because one of them spins on the left rotation and the other one spins on the right rotation when it comes to the jaggy parts. But then again, so like I said, normally in a 1v1, these two would be allowed to be played by me or by somebody else. But inside of a deck of 3 blades, they will not be allowed to be used. I would either have to modify the Rhino to put a different general blade on it, or I would have to modify the Pegasus to use a different blade, different main blade. And then again, it comes also to the lock chip, and that's the thing. If, for an example, you have the full deck of Fox Brush, where you have the original white one, you have the black and the gold one, you're not allowed to use in the same deck the 3 lock chip, because even though there are different colors, they still represent the same monster. They all are foxes. It's the same thing I had with the question with one of my friends about the Shinobi Shadow Blade. Because in their random booster, you had 3 different Shinobi Shadow. You had the original coloring, you had a yellow one, and you have like a black one, I think? Or it was blue? I don't remember. Anyways, normally you could have, in my head, I thought, oh, I can make my full deck a Shinobi deck. But then again, it wouldn't work, because they're all the same blade. Even though they will have different pieces, like ratchet and bits, the blade is still the same. So it would not be allowed to be used like that. But then again, it is just common sense and basic knowledge. That's why in all of my decks, I try to use at least, I try to be sure to not use the same pieces, ratchet, bits, lock chip, and blades, as well as assist blades, and I try to keep them as balanced as I can. Not having a full deck that would be balanced or whatever, but still. Then again, it also comes with the idea of people having different type of rulings everywhere, because you have in the Philippines where they have probably different rulings on how the battle will end or start, and you could have different rulings on how the deck is built. Even tournaments here in Canada, you have tournaments where you have the 5v5 with the possibility of having 2 bays being banned from your own deck. That one, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but people seem to have been able to use that type of method, and apparently it works. But anyways, in the end, it all comes down to the idea of course, customization, but you should be sure to be allowed to use those parts before you decide to make it into your deck that you use in a battle. Because, like I said, in 1v1, we don't really care. I could have inside of my alpha box all my 3 Fox brushes, but it wouldn't change the fact that if they don't use in a deck format, they would be allowed to be played. But if I want to use them in a deck format, I can't, because it's always the same bait. Even though it has different parts or whatever, it still is Fox Brush, and it's still not allowed because of the lock chip. So that's why when I made the Alpha deck and when I made my Chrome deck, I made sure to don't have the same part and pieces, because it is important. Now, again, like I said, this entire video is based on my own opinion on how the rules work. Not sure if they are full-on official with everybody, and you might still have questions about them, and it's totally fine. As long as you don't mistake the rules for something that you wish could be real versus something that is actually being used. So on that, I hope it enlightens you, and I hope I didn't mess up anything that I said in this video, but then again, I welcome you to correct me in the comments, because like I said, we all have our own idea of how things works, and we all have our own idea of how things should work. So yeah, until next time guys, take care, and as always, stay safe and spin out! Bye.